thinking from the perspective of a human resource manager during that development process, during that training process, you need to think, all right, I need to choose for these workers, or I need to help them choose what kind of training they're going to do. Are we going to get them to do training for current skills or future skills? When it comes to training for current skills, that's like training to do your current job better. Yeah? And the advantages of that are obvious. The business gets immediate benefits. The workers are going to keep up with new developments, changes in the law, changes, in production process, whatever. So right now, there's going to be increased productivity right now. Workers are also more likely to pay attention. It's not some, hypothetical, one day you might be doing this other job. It's actually working to help them in their current job. The disadvantage is that it might be boring. If the workers already have those skills, if they already know what's being taught to them, then they're going to be bored and they're going to get frustrated, and they're not going to be happy with the business. So it might not even be worth the disruption. It might also not be seen as valuable for their career. So that's why a lot of workers will go, okay, I'm going to try and do some management training or something, because later in my career, I want to be a manager. But doing skills, like current skills for their current job, it's not going to seem like the boss is helping them in their career. It's just, all right, you've got to get these skills that you currently already have. How about you go and do some training for that? You would want the workers to be looking for some future skills. Now, this has advantages and disadvantages as well, looking at training people for skills that can be used later in that worker's career. The advantage is that later on, you can internally promote that person. So if you go, okay, this is a good worker, we want to hold on to this person. In 5 years' time, I want them to be a manager in this business. I want them to be a partner in this law firm or whatever. You can train them for that in advance. And that's going to motivate employees, because they're going to be going, hey, you know what? If I stay here, I'm going to get promoted. Why? Because otherwise, why would they have given me this leadership training? It also means that you can cover absences. So if your immediate boss is away and you've all been trained on how to do your immediate boss's job, then you can all kind of chip in and do the immediate boss's job, and you can cover that absence rather than having them not covered at all or having to hire someone very expensive to cover them. The disadvantage, though, is that it's very, very risky. The business might not benefit at all because the person may never get promoted, but it also might be the case that the person leaves, they take that training, and then they go to a competing business and they take their skills and their training with them. Workers might also feel really disconnected to that training. So if you're not actually thinking every single day about being a manager, if you're just like, well, I have to do my current job, then you might feel disconnected from the training, because you'll be like, yeah, I haven't been in that situation yet. I don't know what this means. I don't understand, how this really relates to me. And they're going to be bored and they're just going to get on their phones and whatever. So, there are advantages and disadvantages to both. And it really depends on what you want to do with that worker later, like later in their career, not later, in the storeroom.